I never want to see football season end, but all good things
come to an end.
But it's getting real interesting. And let's welcome back our football guru, Khalil, everybody. Hey, Khalil.
How's it going, guys? You know, football, as you were saying, football season has to end, but it has to end so it can start again.
Yes.
And to me, football season never ends because we have the draft, we have the combine, we have all that stuff. It's just a momentary lapse in June where there's no football. That's when you go on vacation.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
Our producer says it's over for the Giants, though. You can put it away.
Well, we're not technically out of it yet. There is still a game left. We need a miracle.
Okay.
But that's what happens this time of the year, right? It's the holiday season.
Miracles.
Yeah.
Auburn pulled a miracle, so can the Giants, right?
Auburn puts full miracles.
That's another program.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's get to the picks. Set them up.
Big games. We have Indianapolis versus the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a very important game because both of these teams are division leaders, but they're vying for a position to get a possible bye as the 1 or 2 seed. Right now, Denver and New England hold these, but New England has a tough little schedule coming up. Denver's schedule looks like they can coast through it, but New England has a tough schedule. They could lose 2 to 3 games in this last 4-game stretch. So we have Cincinnati going against Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have been struggling. People have been jumping on these guys very early. Cincinnati's been winning, but not as dominant as they once were early in the season. So big game for both teams.
All right, I'm liking Cincinnati defense. I'm liking A.J. Green. I'm liking Andy Dalton. I'm liking the Bengals in this one.
Okay.
All right. Well, I had Cincinnati early on my fantasy football team, and maybe they're not as great as they were earlier this season, but they're still better than the Colts. So I went for Cincinnati as well.
Okay. Well, I am choosing the Colts in this one. Yes, the past couple weeks, the Colts have been beat up. They have been really beat up. Teams are jumping out on them, and Andrew Luck is getting hit hard. But this is when young teams come and gel. We're going to see what these guys are actually made of. Yeah. So it's going to be very important to see. My pick, Indianapolis Colts. You can count on that. If you see me out on the street, let me know that I'm right. Okay.
Oh, man. That's only the first game. We got 5 more.
We got 5 more. These are big ones. This next game could be, everyone said last week's game, Seattle versus New Orleans was the game of the year. This game could be the game of the year. Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Both teams are 9-3 for the division lead in the NFC South.
All right. Drew Brees is not going to disappoint 2 weeks in a row. They're playing in the Superdome where they're fabulous. I know Carolina is playing well. Their secondary is suspect. That's where I think Brees has the edge. New Orleans in this one.
Yeah, last week I voted against New Orleans, and I was sad to do that. However, I knew they just couldn't beat them last week. However, I'm going back to the New Orleans Saints this week, and I think they'll be able to win this week. So.
Okay, once again, I'm going to buck the trend. I say the Carolina Panthers win this one for one specific reason. It's time for new leadership in the NFC and the NFL and also that division in the NFC South. New Orleans was exposed last week. Carolina knows that they can win in a myriad of ways. They're going to get through, pull this game out. It's going to be a very, very tight game, but Carolina's defense comes through and steps up with big plays, and they're also going to stuff New Orleans' running game.
Oh, those are some harsh words. All
right.
We'll see about that.
Another big game. All these games kind of have playoff implications. We have the Detroit Lions, the leaders in the NFC North, versus Philadelphia Eagles. Only they're virtually tied with the Dallas Cowboys, but they're also, a game outside of the wild card spot. So this is a big game for both teams.
It is. We don't know what Detroit team is going to show up this week. Is it the one that won big last week, or is it the dog that was playing earlier this season? I like Philadelphia. They're rallying around Nick Foles. He's throwing the ball all over the place to his receivers and to the tight ends, and they're tough at home. Philly,
okay.
And I just think that Philadelphia cannot win against Detroit. So I'm going for Detroit in this one.
Whoa.
Good pick, Aaron. I'm picking Detroit as well. The Detroit Lions have to make a statement as well in this game. They understand that if they win this game, they can pull ahead of all the other teams in their division. Green Bay, without Aaron Rodgers, is still only a couple games back. Chicago is only 1 game back of them. So all of these guys are going to be playing hard. Detroit wants to prove that they can play a formidable team, win a game outside of the comforts of their dome, which they haven't protected too well this year. So I'm picking the Detroit Lions to win this one to set Philly back a step. Next game we have up, guys, it's just after Monday, you know, who knows? Everybody's saying Seattle's the best team in the league. San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks, possibly another game of the year. What do you think, Larry?
This one was tough to pick. This is my upset special this week. San Francisco at home. That defense is nasty. So I think they're going to turn it up, and they want a piece of Russell Wilson. Niners in this one.
And I just think Seahawks were just playing way too good last week, and I think that they're going to take down 49ers. So
Ooh, that's a big pick. That's a big pick. Now, when they played earlier this season, Seattle crushed those guys by 24 points. But now I see San Francisco coming back. They got Michael Crabtree back. And if anybody watched those games last week, Michael Crabtree added a different dimension to that offense. They were able to move the ball. They were much more fluid. I really want to see what Crabtree, Vernon Davis, and Anquan Bolden can do for the passing game to help Colin Kaepernick out. I think that San Francisco is going to come in and prove to Seattle that, hey, you may win the division this year, but we will see you in the playoffs. San Francisco 49ers.
There you go.
all right.
Big one. Okay, another big game. Playoff implications, although the records may not seem so, but the AFC is wide open this year. Miami Dolphins versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
You got the young, hungry fish versus the old, busted down Pittsburgh Steelers. Dolphins in this one. I like this team.
Oh, that's a brave pick, Larry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just don't see the Dolphins winning this game. Steelers, they're still a strong team, and I think their defense will just take down those Dolphins.
I see the Dolphins winning this game for a couple of reasons. One, Mike Tomlin is not going to be able to get in the way of any kickoff return. We're going to say that. He doesn't want to be fined a whole bunch of money or lose more draft picks, possibly. But also, the very next week, Miami plays the New England Patriots. And they know if they can win both of these games, there's no way they can win that division, but they can make a stronger push for that last wild card spot. I say Miami wins this game in an upset special.
We'll see, guys.
Yeah, we'll see. And the last game we have, the Dallas Cowboys, NFC East division leaders, as much as it hurts me to have those words come out of my mouth, versus the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears versus Dallas.
All right.
I like the Cowboys. I like the whole feel of the Tony Romo cardiac kids that they are. Cowboys and this Bears are all busted and broken down right now. Cowboys.
And I will say, yeah, Cowboys are a good team, but I just don't think they can hang with the big boys. So I think Chicago will take down those Cowboys.
That's a brilliant pick, Aaron. Brilliant pick. As I, too, am choosing the Chicago Bears to beat the
Bears.
Dallas Cowboys. Because Dallas has played very well, and I have to commend Tony Romo, who's played well in the clutch for the past 3 weeks. However, these guys have a little bit of trouble. They're getting Sean Lee back. The defense is getting healthier, but I think Chicago is just a little bit hungrier. The Dallas Cowboys still continue to make mistakes. Big-time mistakes and mental errors that lead to them possibly losing games or letting teams back into games. And I think Chicago's very hungry. Chicago actually looks to be a little bit hungry, and they play a little bit better under Josh McCown rather than Jay Cutler. So I see Chicago Bears winning this game, making it tough in the NFC North, and actually making the entire playoff push really close. This is a great season. A lot of parity out there. The AFC is wide open. The NFC's got a really tough race. Of course, as usual, we have a few elite teams. But this year, who knows? I think it's going to come down to the last games of the season to see who pulls it out and who gets into the playoffs.
Real quick, let's talk some college this weekend because we have Florida State playing for a chance at the national title this weekend in their championship game. And then we have all the bowl games lining up. So we'll get into that. Let's do the stats totals for our picks. Okay. Last week, let's look at the numbers. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, guys.
Look at Aaron.
Aaron's
Woo!
kicking butt.
Check it out. 6
Good
and
job.
2,
I love
beating
that
the
football.
two experts here on the show. And then the
Total.
season stats are like this.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's got a 3-game lead.
Erin is just breaking away from the field.
She really is.
We'll see what happens next week, guys.
We got a couple good ones. I know. Just got to make sure to keep Denver off of the picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
because
like you
we're
did this
already gonna
week.
get in there, so we don't have to worry about that.
That'll help us out.
Okay.
That's really good. These college games are something. We have Florida State playing Duke. Now, Duke University, everybody knows them
Yeah.
for basketball.
Yeah.
Give it up for, we got an alum in the house here.
All
So.
right, Duke is doing it. Florida State, I think whoever Florida State plays is going to lose. Florida State wins the national championship.
Think
Oh,
so?
that's
That's my
Wow.
call.
All right.